Hello and welcome. It's time for another edition of Democracy Today. I am Odion Bello. As the war of words continues among the supporters of Kwankaso-Ganduje escalates, representatives trade blames on the recent Durbar clash in Kano.
So we are there, citizens, bona fide citizens of the state, as respecters of our traditions, to share our aim. Then suddenly, some thugs appeared and started beating and macheting anybody seen with white and red, while the police were busy in the vanguard tear gassing our people.
In his desire to wrest power from APC and become the Nigerian president, leader of Hope Democratic Party and presidential candidate Ambrose Oworo is promising that if given the opportunity, his party will scrap churches and follow it up with mosques.
The sole idea of Muslim and Christianity is about God. We all worship God, one God. So why do you have to have a chapel and mosque in Aso Villa? I would demolish it. Nigerians will worship under one roof once a month, of all creed.
In Abia, so many security-related stories, deployment of soldiers, curfew, and more. Two-time governor of the state, Orji Uzor Kalu from the United States, reacts through a press release. And reactions trailed the recall process against Senator Dino Melaye of Kogi West. Details on the program. Elsewhere, governor of Kano State and founder of the Kwankaso movement, Rabiu Musa Kwankaso, is definitely not finding things in the Kano political space easy, as his movement is daily involved in one clash or the other with supporters of his former deputy, now executive governor of the state, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The personality clash between the duo has now come to the fore, with their supporters at daggers drawn, which recently resulted to deaths following a bloody clash at the palace of the emir during the Salah festivities. This running battle between the two APC leaders has now attained a worrisome level, which, if not quickly nipped, is capable of aggravating the security situation in the state, which invariably might destabilize the political permutations of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in Kano State. Joining me to shed light on the Kano crisis is the Commissioner of Information, Youth and Sports, Mohammed Garba. In his official capacity, he can conveniently be referred to as Ganduje's man. We already have some frequently asked questions, and we believe we will all get satisfactory answers. It is important to know at this juncture that as soon as the Honorable Commissioner for Information steps down in his submission of this program, a representative of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankaso will also be fielding questions on this same issue. He is Comrade Aminu Abdusalam Gwazo, former Commissioner for State Affairs when Kwankaso was Kano State Governor. Gwazo is presently Senior Legislative Aide to Senator Kwankaso. After the break, Garba will be on the hot seat. Yes, the rumor has been rife of late that there have been clashes between the supporters of former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankaso, and the present governor, Governor Ganduje. And the fight blew into the open seriously, which was now tagged the Durbar clash. Well, I have joining me on today's edition of Democracy Today, the Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sports and Culture in Kano State, Mohammed Garba. Mohammed, welcome to Democracy Today.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, the Durbar clash, in our own estimate here, was not the best for Kano State, because Rabiu Kwankaso and Ganduje are chieftains, and of course, they are playing important roles in the development of Kano. What could have led to this?
Well, I think I share the same idea, the same opinion with you, actually. And I want to say that it is indeed unfortunate. And even when it happened, we came up with a statement we condemn it in toto. But by now, if you are following events, I'm sure you will know that the clash actually started within the Kwankaso group. That was the information we have, because I remember vividly that right from the time we took off from Government House around 4:15 to the Emir's Palace, we have not seen anybody, either individual or group of people, harassing or abusing somebody within them. You know, it was a very large crowd actually. So up to the time we went to the venue of the Daba, to the end of the Daba and coming back to Government House, believe you me, I said it and I want to repeat it, that personally, most of us are not aware that there was clash. Not until after about 2-3 hours after the Daba, our attention was drawn, and we tried to find out from the security agencies and other means of getting information. And basically, we were made to understand that the Kwankaso group allegedly recruited or invited some youth from the neighboring state, from Jigawa, from Katsina, from Sokoto, Zamfara, and even Kaduna, to come and solidarize with them so that they will be at the palace of the emir. And as they come, they were given red cap and promised to be given 5,000 naira. That was the information we have. So eventually, when they went to the venue of the Daba, they were given 2,000 naira and the red cap. And when the youth realized that probably at the end of the Daba, everybody will go home, and they started to protest. And to the information we have, that was the beginning of the crisis. And you know, why you have a lot of people like that, and going by the history of the Daba in Kano, which were indeed very worried, you realize that when there is a problem like that, it will lead to a lot of crises like what really happened. And in fact, this is the information we have from the government side. And personally, I tried to dig further to find out what really happened, and then even went to the extent of going to the hospital with the Commissioner of Health to find out those who were in the hospitals. And from the record available in the hospital, we went to 3 hospitals, we were able to find out that some of those youths, as was alleged, came from Jigawa. Some were injured, about 2 of them, I cannot remember the number, from Jigawa, about 3 from Katsina, and 1 from Kaduna. And even amongst the supporters of Ganduje, some of them were also injured. They sustained very serious injury during the clash. So I think that is really what happened. And our position as government is that indeed we are not happy. I was directed by the governor, as I said. I issued a statement, and I assured the people of Kano that government will do everything possible to ensure that whoever was found guilty as far as this issue is concerned will be prosecuted, because it's a very serious issue, as you said. The issue of Daba, as far as we are concerned, we are organizing Daba so that we can display our culture, our tradition. And this is why you have a lot of foreigners coming from outside the country. And eventually, when you have interaction like that, that is probably the probability of having an investor so that they will come and invest in Kano. In fact, I had even the privilege of discussing with quite a number of people who believe that there is need for us to modify and reorganize the Daba so that it will be well arranged in such a way that even revenue can come out of it. So yes, really, we are really disturbed as far as I'm concerned. And my prayer and hope is that such type of thing should not happen in the future, because it is denting the image of the state, And indeed, we as a government, as I said, we are really, really disturbed with the situation.
Right. Honorable Commissioner, it is clear to the blind and very loud to the deaf that there is a strained relationship between Kwankaso and your boss, Ganduje. What is going on? They used to be very, very close. It was an issue of governor and his deputy.
Well, I think the problem probably mostly, I would say, is from the supporters, especially those who are very, very close to the Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankaso, because immediately after His Excellency was sworn in as governor of Kano, there was this expectation that probably some of them will be on board, probably reappointed as commissioners.
Yeah, some of his people.
Exactly.
His people. Yeah.
Without bearing in mind that the governor did what he's supposed to do. For instance, he was able to retain the secretary to the state government. Engineer Rabiu was Suleiman.
Is he still there now?
No, he was removed about 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
But the governor was able to retain him. He retained the accountant general of the state, who was appointed by Kwankaso. We have about 3-4 commissioners who served under Kwankaso. The commissioner for local government was a special advisor to Kwankaso, and he was appointed as a commissioner during Ganduje's administration. The commissioner of agriculture maintained his position as commissioner of agriculture in Ganduje's administration. The commissioner of water resources was the executive secretary of was an executive secretary of the scholarship board during the Kwankaso's administration, and so many others. So some of them failed to realize that it is virtually impossible probably for the governor to retain all the commissioners. And for you to have the secretary to the state government and of course the general, that is the key as far as the administration of the state is concerned. But I believe that some of them felt aggrieved, and instead of them to come and cooperate with the government and support the government, they started to criticize some of the policies and the programs of government. And secondly, 2015, 2016, as you are aware, is a very bad year in terms of economy, not only in Kano State.
No, of course, nationally,
that was the peak period of recession.
Yes.
And we inherited so many programs by the immediate past administration. There were a lot of unpaid contracts by the immediate past administration. And therefore, it was a little bit difficult for us to continue immediately with some of the programs and the policies of the immediate past administration. But even at then, I'm sure the people of Kano will bear me witness, we continued with most of the major projects that we inherited. We were paying debt of over 300 billion naira that we inherited from the immediate past administration. And we continued with the issue of scholarship, especially in the area of education. We have quite a number of students who are studying in foreign countries, and we continued with the payment of their tuition fee, their upkeep, and what have you. And the worst part of it is when the administration was going, we were made to understand that there was pronouncement by the government that they have paid 100% the tuition fee and upkeep of all the students who are studying outside the country. But coming on board, we realized that we are indebted to the tune of about 7.8 billion naira that needs to be paid. So actually, we have that challenge. But even at then, we are able to maintain payment of salaries, allowances. We are able to ensure the payment of gratuity and pension. I want to say with all sense of humility that in Nigeria today, if there is one governor that is consistent in terms of payment of salary, I believe my governor is one. So despite all these challenges, as I said, we continue with the program. But unfortunately, some of the leaders of the Kwankwasiya group were antagonistic about the government. They continue to sabotage those who were on board. And I believe that was why the secretary to the state government was relieved of his appointment. That was why the accountant general was also relieved of his appointment, because we realized that there was an element of sabotage from the part of them. They tend to believe that whatever we do, we have to continue 100% with all the programs and policies of the immediate past administration. And we explain in detail that no matter what, even if you are from the same father and the same mother, there must be differences in terms of understanding, in terms of approach, and at times we look at the circumstances. When Kwankaso was in government 2011, 2013, 2014, we look at the situation even when federal allocation was given. We have seen it, it's still there in record. At times, in a month, they receive 15 billion naira, they receive 18 billion naira, 12 billion naira, and we found ourselves in a situation 2015, 2016, where we are getting 4 billion, 5 billion naira. So this is a very, very serious challenge.
Okay, because of recession.
Because of recession,
okay,
which probably the Kwankwasiya deliberately refused to appreciate. Deliberately refused to appreciate. If I'm getting 12, 13 billion naira, and here am I today getting 3, 4, 5 billion naira, the difference is there.
Yes.
But my governor, as a civil servant, believed that he has to be consistent no matter the situation. At least we should not be found wanting in terms of payment of salary. So we continue payment of salary, and as I speak to you today, I challenge everybody. We have completed more than 40, 45, 50% of all the projects we inherited from the immediate past administration. Not even immediate past administration, even the administration before Kwankaso's administration. There are 2 hospitals, for instance, that of Giginyo and Nasarawa. These are projects that were initiated by Shekara. Go and see in today. We have completed 100% the structure. We have bought all the equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, 100%. And God willing, Mr. President is going to commission some of these projects. So I think the problem is being instigated, mostly, I must say, by the supporters of Kwankaso's administration, because you must realize that there is change of leadership. You must realize that there has to be respect. There has to be law and order in the state. Once you are not ready to abide by the law and order of the state, I think that's where there is problem.
All right, before you go, and let's have this one very, very brief. I want to put it to you that Governor Ganduje has just declared total support for the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as president of Nigeria. Could it be because he has fallen apart with Kwankaso?
No.
Because unreliably we gather that Kwankaso will want to contest to be the president of Nigeria.
Well, this is democracy, as you are aware. 2015, Kwankaso contested. He came first. But he should bear in mind, and all his supporters, that he didn't come, I mean, he came second.
Yeah,
and he should bear in mind that he came second with the support of Ganduje and other people of Kano State. There is no how today you will be president of Nigeria without having absolute support from your own state. And I want to say with all sincerity that our support and the support of our governor for Buhari is 100%. That is something that has been sealed. If eventually Buhari has indicated interest and he has made his intention known that is going to contest, seek for re-election in 2019, definitely I want to assure you that the governor and the people of Kano State will go for Buhari. Buhari's political base, as you are aware, is in Kano. And we are trying everything possible to ensure that we maintain that position. So whether Kwankaso is contesting or not, that is entirely a different thing. That shouldn't be a problem, as I said. It is democracy, and I must admit the fact that he has his own people, he has his own followers, but let's practice politics according to the rules of the game. And I think that is the most important.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, for coming on to the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, it's still Democracy Today, and here with me now is a gentleman from, let me say, the camp of Alhaji Rabiu Kwankaso. I say from his camp because he was a commissioner, to be precise, Commissioner for State Affairs, when Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankaso was the governor of Kano State. He is Comrade Aminu Abdul Salam Gwarzo. You're welcome, Comrade.
Thank you very much.
Now, you are presently the senior legislative aide. So we want to believe, including the viewers, that we have the right person to come here and speak on behalf of Alhaji Kwankaso. The present governor, Kwankaso-Ganduje, and Alhaji Kwankaso were friends, were brothers, political allies, governor and deputy. But right now, the relationship is a strained one. From where, when did they start getting this wrong?
Well, thank you very much, Sam. Good evening, viewers. Let me start by confirming what you have said. His Excellency Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankaso, the senator representing Kano Central and Senatorial District, and former governor of Kano State, and Ganduje, the current governor of Kano State, were very close friends and very close political allies up to the time when His Excellency Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankaso vacated the seat and Ganduje succeeded him. To be precise, that was when or after his anointment as the candidate of the APC and his subsequent election at the general elections in Kano State as the executive governor of Kano State. I will tend to believe that the sour relationship started immediately when he ascended the throne of governorship of Kano State, because immediately after assuming office, he started making statements castigating the previous administration and in a way distancing himself from the previous administration and questioning most of the policies, especially the most progressive policies initiated and executed by the former governor of Kano State, Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankaso. I can confidently say it started immediately, almost on 29th or 30th of June, to our utter amazement.
That would have been barely a month after being sworn in. Probably he was sworn in May 29.
Yeah. It was barely a month, and they were making all kinds of statements against the previous administration, and in most cases trying to castigate the person of Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankaso or Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankaso. And for those of us that were part and parcel of the previous administration and who were members of the State Executive Council, alongside Dr. Abdullah Umar Ganduje, who was the Deputy Governor then and Commissioner in charge of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. So we were all really taken aback. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody ever expected anything like this. But then here we are, and the reality on the ground is not what we have expected. And immediately he assumed the mantle of leadership in the state. He started he set out to almost dismantle virtually everything that matters which Kwankaso has left behind. And as members of the State Executive Council, as senior stakeholders, certainly we cannot just fold our arms and watch him do the distractions politically and administratively. So we started coming out. First and foremost, we sent a representation to him, believing that maybe there was a mistake somewhere, maybe there was a misunderstanding or misconception of certain things somewhere along the line. But unfortunately, he appears to be adamant and set on or bent on going ahead with his antics. And we were left with no choice, even when His Excellency Rabi Musa Kwankaso was trying to ask us to exercise restraint. We told him that there is need for restraint, but certainly we have to be reliant to certain things so that we can set the records very clear. Kano State people are very much aware of what is happening and what has happened during the previous administration under His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso. They knew very well the very progressive initiatives he has come up with, and they are the beneficiaries of those policies executed by his administration, and they cherish those policies, and that is why they are still very much solidly with Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, supporting very strongly the Kwankwasiyya movement in Kano. And I think that explains part of the frustrations on the part of the governor of the state, Dr. Kwankaso-Ganduje, because it seems like he was not also expecting any maybe resistance from the people, and the reactions he was getting were not what he has been expecting, and that is why he's getting more and more desperate, and he has already gone off track. He has gone off the track that was set by the Kwankwasiyya movement in Kano under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, in terms of very positive policies initiated by His Excellency Rabi Musa Kwankaso in the educational sector, the agric sector, health sector, and commerce, and the rest of it. We have come a long way, and thank God we have achieved that much.
All right. While you were talking about him, I mean, His Excellency now, Governor Ganduje, starts running down the previous administration. I want to know from you, did Ganduje appoint any of Kwankwaso's loyalists to his cabinet?
Well, that was why I said he started the fight immediately after assuming office.
Okay.
He has wanted to do away with everything that has anything to do with Kwankaso.
Yeah.
And right ab initio, when he came to appoint his commissioners and other political appointees, he made sure, as a matter of deliberate policy, that all those that are close to His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso were not given any slot. And if you ask me why, I cannot say, apart from the fact that they are close to His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, there are a lot of people out there who are very loyal to His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, very loyal to the movement, very loyal to the system, contributed immensely, both financially and otherwise, to the success of His Excellency Engineer Dr. Kwankaso-Ganduje at the Falls. But he decided, and deliberately so, to leave out or to sideline all those people, all those senior stakeholders from his government.
We had that he appointed SSG and the Accountant General from Kwankwaso loyalists. Is that correct?
He appointed SSG and the Accountant General as a transitional appointment.
Okay.
And after the transition, he kicked them out.
All right.
Because the allegation was that they were still loyal to His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, and there is no way he can continue with them while they are still loyal to somebody outside the government.
All right. The strained relationship has been coming to Nigerians, to some Nigerians, in form of rumor, until the recent Durbar clash. At the Durbar, what happened? Durbar was supposed to really sell, to publicize Kano culture and tradition, the beauty of Kano. And it was quite unfortunate that the thing ended in bloody clash between the supporters of Ganduje and Kwankaso. What happened?
Well, if I may go back a little to give you the background. As I have said, he has started this problem immediately he assumed office, and he has done his very best to discredit and dismantle all that has been left behind. People in the state were very angry that he reversed the pre-education policy of the previous administration. People at the state, in this state, were very angry that he has stopped feeding pupils in the primary schools, which was done by the previous administration. People in the state were very, very angry that he refused to pay school fees for the students, for over 2,600 students that were taken abroad. Because when we came in, His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso hit the ground with his plans rolling. One, we have already identified that Kano is one of the disadvantaged states, educationally speaking. And that is not anything that we should be proud of. And to make up for that, certain deliberate policies, like an emergency is declared in the educational sector, starting from the primary to secondary and tertiary institutions. And the government, under His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso, decided to come out with certain plans of sending our children to overseas universities so that they can quickly go there, obtain their first degrees and second degrees and PhDs, and come back and join our tertiary institutions and started imparting what they have learned, and they are needed in various sectors of the society. Within the country, His Excellency deliberately financed and funded some of our children to some private schools, all in an effort to ensure that we have as much as we can in the university system within a very short period, so that we can have as many graduates as possible. He was trying to lay a very solid foundation for educational transformation in the state. Now, people having realized that, having witnessed what was going on, wherever the governor went, you find that he's not enjoying his movement across the state. And when it is Durbar, it has become our tradition, the Kwankwasiya followers. We came to the Durbar venue to cheer our revered Emma on the Daushe Durbar. So we used to appear in our traditional regalia, just like you see me here, red on white. This is the traditional Kwankwasiya outfit.
Okay.
So we dressed like that, and we go to the Emma's palace, we cheer the Emma. After the Hawan Daushe, we greet, we eat, we rejoice, and we leave the venue. There was never, at any given time, there was never any violence whatsoever at any given time, apart from this year. It was started 2 years ago, until this Durbar, when the governor of the state, in collaboration with the police commissioner, decided that Kwankwasiya people should not be allowed to stand or to witness or to participate in the Durbar celebrations. You can't imagine in a democratic society like ours, some people being harassed on a Durbar day, a Salah celebration, which is open to all manner of people, both within and outside the state, both within and outside the country. Daushe Durbar is so important and so beautiful that people from across the country came to witness that Dava, and even people from outside the country. Some foreigners used to come and witness the Dava, the Hawandoshe Dava. So we were there, citizens, bona fide citizens of the state, as respecters of our traditions, to cheer our emir. Then suddenly, some thugs appeared and started beating and macheting anybody seen with white and red, while the police were busy in the vanguard tear gassing our people. Once they tear gas the crowd that is seen to be densely reddish, then the thugs will come in and start hitting and macheting our people. It was so unfortunate, and it was so glaring. It was in broad daylight. We have it on record. It is all in our cameras, in the video, and so many. You know, this is a digital age. So this is an IT era. It is well documented. And thank God we have taken all necessary steps to reach out to the higher authorities within the police hierarchy.
Comrades, let's get something straight. You mean Kwankwase loyalists were in order, obedient, law-abiding, and some people just rushed at them?
As we used to be, yes, just like that.
And people will now rush at them and start
just like that,
them, cutting them,
just like that,
them.
just like that. So
don't you think maybe some of your boys were overzealous?
They were not. They were not. This is not the first time we are in the Dava. This is our second year. And we have been witnessing the Dava ever since the days of His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso. It has been the tradition. And for this government, this is our second year. There was never any violence anywhere.
We learned that maybe you were supposed to...
We were so defenseless.
Okay.
Because we never, ever thought of anything like this. Nobody ever expected anything like this to happen in Kano and in this era. But it has happened, it is now a reality.
All right, let's get something straight. You mean there was nothing like clash over sharing of money amongst your people?
No, that's just mischief. That is part of the excuses they have been trying to come up with. Initially, the Commissioner of Information, Kano, issued a statement saying that there was nothing. They came from government house, reached the palace, finished the Doba, went back home, people were cheering the governor, and there was no incident. That was in that day's evening. Then immediately, the following morning, he changes his statement. They now realize that it is now among the Kwankwase people, it's a matter of sharing money and the rest of it. Whoever knew Kwankwase, they all knew there in Kano and beyond that Kwankwase is not about money. It is about an ideology. It is about a fashion for change, passion for beautiful and progressive ideas. And that is why people were coming out in mass. You don't have the money to give such people. The sheer number is so overwhelming. Otherwise, maybe after the incident, you will not see any Kwankwase man there. But even after the fracas, you will see that if you go to the place, you will be thinking that nothing has happened. You will think that like everybody there is a Kwankwase man, because of the massive support that the Kwankwase movement enjoys, the massive support and respect His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso is enjoying from the citizens of Kano, and which I believe is reciprocal.
I guess those red caps are even intimidating. When you just see people with red caps like that, wouldn't that be intimidating?
Well, it may be intimidating. You know, there is a saying that the guilty are always afraid. So if you can easily be intimidated by sighting a red cap, we have been urging him to drop his own. He has ensured that none of his lieutenants is wearing any red cap, but he has failed to remove his own. All right, that is telling you about a personality. This is something that you hate with passion, and yet you are wearing it.
All right, I have just one question for you. Can you confirm to us if Engineer Kwankaso is vying for the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Engineer Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankaso has held so many positions. He was at one time the Deputy Speaker, Federal House of Representatives. He was a former governor of Kano State from 1999 to 2003. He was a defense minister of this country. He was an advisor to the former President, General Olusegun Obasanjo, on Darfur and Somali matters. His Excellency was part of the NDDC board up to the time when he resigned because of matters of principles. And he contested alongside with the President General Muhammadu Buhari for the ticket of the APC to fly the flag of APC as presidential candidate. As God will have it, we were not able to make it. His Excellency General Muhammadu Buhari is now the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And General Muhammadu Buhari, don't forget, is flying the APC flag. And for now, His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso is the senator representing Kano Central Senatorial District in the Senate of the Federal Republic, and he is busy with his mandate in the Senate. Any ambition, presidential or otherwise, I don't think the time is ripe now for anybody to start haggling. And when the time is appropriate, we will make our decisions known to the entire nation. But for now, His Excellency Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and is busy with his schedules and his mandate in the Senate.
Thank you very much, Comrade Aminu Abdul Salam Gwazo, for coming on to the program Democracy Today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, Comrade is at the moment the legislative aide to Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankaso. He was the Commissioner of State Affairs when Kwankaso was the governor of Kano State. The program continues in a moment. Democracy Today. Now, worried over the alarming situation following the military deployment in the southeast, former governor of Abia State, Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, has appealed for sustainable peace in the southeast region in the interest of the country. He decried the needless loss of lives in Abia State and also commiserated with the families of the bereaved. In a released statement, Kalu, who just returned from the United States, said he was disturbed after receiving briefs of the brewing crisis in the southeast. He disclosed his resolve to engage in extensive consultations to see to the end of the unrest and fear the alleged army incursions in many areas of Abia State has created. He also called on the members of Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, to remain law-abiding as he consults with the federal authorities and IPOB stakeholders towards finding a common ground to the alarming crisis. He regretted that the unimaginable situations are happening in a state he once governed for 8 years and added that Southeast, being a special economic zone, does not need such crisis. He also said further actions by the military would inflict suffering on the people who were already bearing the brunt of their presence. The former governor recalled that Igbo people are known for their peaceful dispositions and urged the youths not to demystify this long identity by making any attempt to take laws into their hands. He said, and I quote, "When I was governor, there were also Biafra agitations in the state, but I always ensured that as the chief security officer of the state, the agitators must express their grievances within the ambit of the law so as not to infringe the rights of others, most especially those going about their legitimate businesses. To ensure that the future is not worse than it is today and to prepare for a great and promising future, we must not forget that we are yet to recover from the losses of the Civil War. Therefore, we cannot afford the mistake of subjecting ourselves to another round of loss of human lives and property." Reactions have trailed the Abuja court judgment giving the go-ahead for the continuation of the recall exercise of the senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye. AIT gauged the mood of residents of his Kogi West constituency and the state capital, Lokoja. While some welcome the development, others see the whole recall saga as an unnecessary waste of resources.
Recall of the senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, caused jubilations within his hometown in Rokoland. They argued that the lawmaker has not provided any form of meaningful development that has direct impact on the electorate since he was elected into the office, hence the agitation to recall him. Those in favor of the senator's recall say he has done nothing in terms of representing his constituents. They welcomed the Abuja High Court verdict authorizing the recall exercise.
Well, as you can see, the pool of people, it is a sign that people are very happy, jubilating over the downfall of the man who called himself Dino, that he thinks he can override the whole state. Kogi West, where he's supposed to deliver, is a judgment on all politicians, whether they are already on post or they will be on post, that this government is out to make sure that equity and judgment and justice is on place, that anybody that is put in place should be ready to deliver to the people.
Somebody who is perpetrating under the dues of being a comrade and facilitate crises, social crises, all in the name representing the good people of Kogi West Senatorial District. We are telling him, we are recalling him with all our effort, with all sincerity of intention. We want to tell the members of the public that we want to do it, we want to initiate it. We are known for history, and the history must be set. Right now, we are on it, and we will not renege until our effort is being crowned with success.
What has indicated justice for this judgment? It is the beauty of the INEC to indicate justice to you, because the judiciary has played their own part, and it is left for the INEC now to play their own part judicially, because the INEC is to go from one to one to see whether it is true that people recall Dino truly or not.
The INEC to make appropriate steps to come and verify the signature of those that we never induce anybody, we never force anybody to sign, and people's time for nothing, because they are tired of the representation of the light of representing Kogi West.
Another school of thought sees things differently, describing the whole recall saga as a waste of time, energy, and resources.
Though everybody has his own lapses, his own mistake, we are also meant to understand that he has been using money to buy expensive cars. Though it is money, nobody will not want to enjoy it. But now, the verdict on him, I would suggest the High Court should just forget about it.
The money they are using for the recurring process to inject it on the youths. Understand? The youths who are wandering away on the streets, they are injecting the money to the INEC court. Understand? I am seeing the process has been a waste.
Meanwhile, the Director General on Media and Publicity to the Kogi State Governor, Kingsley Fanwo, says government has nothing to do with the recall saga and called for mutual understanding between the Senator Melaye and his constituents.
The court had already ruled on the issue, and I think instead of trying to pin it on the state government, the senator should try as much as possible to reach out to his constituents. This is purely an issue between him and the people of his senatorial district, who are saying that they don't want him anymore in the Senate. So it has nothing to do with the state government. As a government, we respect the rule of law and constitutionalism, and we will not. We are busy with issues that concern the state as we speak.
Though the High Court judgment still stands, reports say the embattled senator intends to appeal the High Court's decision.
Do you remember Hope Democratic Party? The party contested the last presidential election, and since inception, one man has been both national chairman and presidential candidate. Ahead of 2019 presidential election, the man Ambrose Owuru, who holds sway in the party, is gearing for the presidential race, hoping to wrest power from the ruling All Progressive Congress APC with what it considers a winning formula. In a chat with AIT's Omar Bazwaye, Owuru said Nigerians have always brought bad products. He said if given the opportunity, his party will scrap all churches and then follow it up with mosques. In their places, he said his party will establish a common faith center where every citizen will be allowed to worship God once a month. He believes this will solve the crisis of religion in the country.
Because by Jove, we will contest and represent these ideas again. We have created what we call religious, we have a program of religious tolerance. And that's the bane of this country today, a bane of the world, Africa, the world. We have a Christian, what do you call it, a fusion of both Christians and Muslims. No party has thought about it. The parties that have ruled the country, let me say in the last 16 years, have only succeeded in dividing Nigerians on religious grounds. The PDP last time created their problems. They are all Christians. These ones now are being accused of being Muslims, or even appointing more Muslims to power. So you need a middle ground. You need people with modern ideas who will not look at religion as an issue. That's why we're creating a Christian, a fusion of both Muslim and Christian, because the sole idea of Muslim and Christianity is about God. We all worship God, one God. So why do you have to have a chapel and mosque in Aso Villa? I would demolish it. Nigerians will worship under one roof once a month. Of all creed, I'll decrease all.
Is that what your party will
Of course, my party will have decided on that. And that's our manifesto. We are coming out with programs.
No, I need you to say that again.
All Nigerians under our administration will be made to worship under one roof, under one God. Once in a month, we start with that.
What would you call that?
I would call it Christian Center. And then see yourself as children of God, not of Muhammad or Christ.
Do you think that will end all of the
it will solve our problems?
Differences?
Yes, because even those who steal in the name of whatever they call it, and their defenders tell them, oh, it's our turn. Is it because he's a Christian? Is it why you're pursuing him? You can't succeed in this country if you don't blur this line. Last time I checked, the world thought it was an African problem. But today, even America, London, nobody lives in peace. Christians and Muslims are creating problems the whole world. God is all they serve, by the way. So why? China is even banning churches. Our neighbor Cameroon, they are banning churches. Why do you have all the churches in all the streets and you have more crime? So we must think ahead. We must have good leadership that must be creative. So these ones you have now are the old analog. So let's go to debate and ideas. Not that I'm the largest party in Africa. We are the largest African party with ideas. And that's what we want to sell this time. We don't need money to win this next election. Let me be assured of that.
What do you need?
Just need you, the press. So we look forward to that election. Because the PDP, I'm sorry, is beating their chest. They are coming back to where? Which country will allow such party that ruined us, ruined themselves? The only hunger for power, treasury, by the way. We will not, Nigerians will not allow that this time.
And with that, we end today's edition of Democracy Today. Until tomorrow, I say bye for now.